All right. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from the 9/20/21 meeting.
Mr. President, I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes. Accounts payable vouchers.
Mr. President, I'd like to recommend the claims from September 21st, 2021 through October 4th, 2021 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. And payroll.
Mr. President, I would also like to recommend the payroll dated October 1st, 2021 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Highway. Morning.
Good morning. Just a few items. First item we have is the acceptance of a temporary highway easement for the old 231 safety improvement at McCutcheon. This is with temporary easement with Tippecanoe School Corporation in the amount of $1,600.
Mr. President, I move we approve this temporary easement grant presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Next, we have a $47,197 street maintenance bond for Belterra Subdivision Phase 1.
Mr. President, I move for approval as outlined.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
And then we'd have an acceptance of streets for Belterra Subdivision Phase 1, Eucalyptus Drive.
I think we need to do that rider.
Oh, I'm sorry. And there's a rider attached to that maintenance bond from 3 years, moving it from 3 years to 5 years.
Mr. President, I move for approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Now, acceptance of the streets in Belterra Subdivision Phase 1, Eucalyptus Drive, Gilwell Drive, Hazelwood Drive, Hyperion Drive, total 1,748.58 feet of street.
Mr. President, move we accept these streets as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Next, we have a $28,700 maintenance bond for the Rose Business Park.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the maintenance bond for the Rose Business Park.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Then we have the acceptance of Renissa Court in Rose Business Park, 510.09 feet.
Mr. President, move we accept this street as presented.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Our final item is a utility bond rider, basically changing the name of Indiana Gas Company to CenterPoint Energy.
Mr. President, move that we approve this utility bond rider with the name change.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Area Plan Commission. Looks like we have 3 ordinances, so I'll entertain a motion to hear.
Mr. President, I move that we hear ordinance number 2021-30-CM USO Amendment number 12.
Second.
Good morning.
Good morning. David Hiddle with the Area Plan Commission. This is a proposed amendment to the subdivision ordinance. It would do 2 things. It would replace old forms with new forms. These are subdivision application forms that we keep in the ordinance. And it would also change the definition of the word lot to match the definition in the zoning ordinance, which we brought to you last time you met, if you'll recall.
We've definitely heard a lot about this definition of lot, so I'm glad this is the final step. All right. Are there any questions from the board? Okay.
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to this request? Bob?
Murtaugh,
Yes.
Byers.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-30 CM passes 3-0.
Mr. President, I move that we hear ordinance number 2021-29-CM, petition from John Christo, we'll go that way, from GB to R3.
Second.
Thank you. This is a proposed rezoning heard and recommended for the approval by the Plan Commission on September 15th. It's a 1 1/4 acre lot north of Sagamore Parkway, near the intersection of Sagamore and Paramount. Unimproved, currently zoned GB for general business. It would rezone it to R3, which would allow for multifamily development. This was unanimously approved and recommended for approval by the staff, and there were no remonstrators.
Is the petitioner present?
Good morning, Kevin Riley with Riley, Teeter and Schreier representing the petitioner. We agree with Mr. Hiddle's comments and the staff report. We agree that it's a logical fit for this area. It's a needed, the housing is needed in that area, and so we request your approval. Happy to answer any questions that you have, and the petitioner is here to answer questions as well.
Questions from the board?
None?
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak to this? Bob?
Byers.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Murtaugh.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-29 CM passes 3-0.
Mr. President, I would move that we hear ordinance 2021-28-CM, Garrison Properties.
Second.
All right.
This is, again, a proposed rezoning of 4 old lots, part of the original plat of the town of Stockwell. They've been zoned NB for neighborhood business for as long as we can determine, but they've never been improved with a business. They've always been improved with housing. In fact, there was a house on these lots that had burnt down not too long ago. Petitioner is seeking to consolidate the lots and rezone them to R1, which would allow for legal residential use and would allow for the rebuilding of the house on these properties. The original NB zoning, business zoning, probably harkened back to a time when the tiny Stockwell Business District, which is just south of here, maybe was considered to have an opportunity to expand northward. But that never happened, so we think that R1U is plenty reasonable zoning district for this lot. Again, it was recommended unanimously by the Plan Commission on the 15th of September, and there were no remonstrators, and staff recommended approval as well.
Thank you. Petitioner?
Good morning. Chris Shulman of Gutwein Law, 250 Main Street, here on behalf of the petitioner. We agree with the staff's recommendation and the APC's unanimous recommendation for approval, and be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board?
No, sir.
No. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this request? Bob?
Brown.
Yes.
Murtaugh.
Yes.
Byers.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-28 CM passes 3-0.
Okay. You have a PayGov contract.
Thank you. We have, as our final item, a contract with PayGov. We would like to be able to accept electronic payment. I think that's sort of a convenience expected by customers these days. And we've been in contact with staff at some of the other county departments that uses this PayGov system, and they're very pleased with it. It's the surveyors, I believe, and the recorders, and maybe the assessors that are currently using it. And so we would like to essentially utilize the same contract. Doug has looked over it and is agreeable to it. Attached another set of language that the PayGov is agreeable to as well. So we're just here for your approval of that.
Is this the same system that's linked to our webpage this is a different system. Is there any issues with running two systems like that? No. Okay. Okay.
Mr. President, I move that we approve this agreement with PayGov for the allowance of electronic payments as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Okay,
Thank you very much.
All right, we have a service agreement for employee online training. Paula?
This is actually an agreement with Treliant. This will bring us up to date with all of our ADA, our discrimination policies, and its online services, basically very similar to what we do with Know Before Now. Doug has already looked over the contract, I think.
And so, how often is this done?
How often is it done?
Meaning, how often are the emails sent out to employees?
We can control that, but it would be depending on which, I think Shirley will use them during her training, and then we'll use them for ADA training, we'll use them for other discrimination, or as needed if a specific department needs additional help. And I believe that Jason Huber is going to be using some of the online training at community corrections as well.
Okay, so it won't necessarily, it'll be mostly done at, during the orientation process.
Some of them.
Actually, it'll be done in addition to the orientation process. Like, for instance,
You're good. Somebody turned it on for you.
I was going to say, I thought it was on. Like, for instance, everyone should have the bloodborne pathogen training, but we haven't been able to do that because of the, trying to gather everybody together. This way, it can be done online. If something comes up, they can pause it, come back to it later. It'll also track who has done the training and who hasn't. So, and if there's issues in a certain department, then I can push through for that department to go through that specific training as well.
Okay, just so we're not bombarding folks
No,
with, okay.
it'll go
As needed.
as needed at a different pace, so.
And by looking at the contract, this is $12,030 for up to
Yes.
1,000 employees.
Yes.
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the contract as outlined, the amount of $12,030 with Treliant Services.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of that agreement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right, and then it looks like we have another ordinance.
Mr. President, I move that we hear ordinance number 2021-27-CM, ADA Project Team.
Second.
Oh, Paula?
Again, this is just so we can add an additional member to the ADA project team. This would include our executive assistant, or our executive maintenance director, or his designee, which would be his assistant or one of his other counterparts to the ADA project team, because there's really nothing that we do in county government that doesn't involve our facilities.
Congratulations.
He's thrilled. Well, he's involved with it every day anyway.
All right, is there anyone who would like to speak to this ordinance? Bob?
Murtaugh,
Yes.
Byers,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-27 CM passes 3-0 on first reading.
Is there any interest in suspending the rules?
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the rules and potentially look at this at a second reading.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Mr. President, I move that we hear ordinance number 2021-27-CM for second and final reading.
Second.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to it on second reading? Bob?
Byers.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Murtaugh.
Yes.
Ordinance 2021-27 CM passes 3-0 on second and final reading.
All right, treasurer. Good morning.
Good morning. I have two items. The first of which is an addendum to our current contract with Certify. Certify is a software application that we use to interface the purchasing card transactions with our accounting system. We're approaching 45 users, and we can take advantage of a price discount at 45, so it'll be going from $9 per user per month to $8.50 per user per month, which is probably about $250 a year savings, but may as well go with that next break.
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the addendum to the contract with Certify as our treasurer outlined.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you.
That passes.
Second item is a professional services agreement. If you recall, during budget hearings, I spoke about the treasurer's office conducting or engaging services of a CPA to conduct audits of the innkeeper tax returns. I sent out an RFP early September to 4 local accounting firms, received 3 responses, and have selected Heath and Associates to perform those audits. This agreement is between Heath and the treasurer, and I assume it's prepared by Doug, so I presume coming forth to you for ratification of that and also to get in the minutes for the record.
Yeah, that's kind of belt and suspenders. I mean, in this case, the treasurer is the one with the enforcement powers under the innkeeper's tax and the person authorized to retain accountants. So I'm not sure you have formal responsibilities here, but I like to run everything through the commissioners.
So we're going to run it through our meeting, but I'm not signing it. Okay.
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the agreement for CPA services with Heath and Associates CPA for the audit of the innkeeper's tax.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you.
That's just
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to ask permission for Community Corrections to apply for a $15,000 grant from SIA Foundation towards the RAD program. There will be a small match from the county to, because I think that it's $18,000. Maybe not, maybe they went under. Anyways, it's around $15,000.
And what's the RAD program?
I'm glad you're here, Jason.
It's a program that it's a national program of rape, aggression, defense. It allows us to teach those classes for a number of individuals, both staff, public, and our participants. Several police departments do it. I think Lafayette and West Lafayette also do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Mr. President, I'd move that we grant permission to apply for the SIA Foundation grant for the RAD program.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you. And then we received late on Friday permission to accept, we were requesting permission to accept $15,000 from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security for the HEMP 2022 grant, which will cover the cost of delegates to attend hazmat training and/or conferences, or we will have training here in the county depending on how those fall out in 2022. It continues to provide the current prevention and protection for Tippecanoe County from hazardous waste traveling through the county. No match.
Mr. President, I move that we accept this grant as presented.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Then Youth Services has 3 contracts for you to sign. They are contracts for the school tutoring from the JDAI grant with Kayla Mugmaw, Jackie Vega, and Kayla Veliski. And this is to extend through June 30th of 2022.
Mr. President, I move that all three contracts be approved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is the resolution for the furniture purchasing for TCCO. Doug, you want to talk a little bit about this resolution?
Yeah, so it's Resolution 2021-35-CM. It's on the agenda simply as the Furniture Purchasing and Service Agreement. I've recommended that the contract be approved in the form of a resolution because you're using a special purchasing method. Sort of the default method is to receive bids, but there's a number of reasons you can skip that process, and the one you're using here is that this is part of a joint purchasing agreement, which means that a different political subdivision has taken this through the bid process, and part of the pricing is available to other political subdivisions on the same basis, so you've satisfied the bidding requirements there. It just requires a resolution that lays out what that special purchasing method was. And the other thing it does is it grants the president authority to execute the underlying furniture purchasing and service agreement, and that incorporates the quote from RJE Business Interiors with respect to the extension office. That quote was for $100,350.30, and Health Department, $120,495.75.
And then the only thing I'll add is that the furniture was a line item budget within the whole project cost, so. Okay.
Mr. President, I move that we approve Resolution 2021-35-CM, Furniture Purchasing and Service Agreement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right, and then it looks like we have some change orders. I think all of them are for TCCO. The first one is to add sprinkler heads, and those were for the generator room and in the freezer room, for a total of $1,993. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. The second is in a total of $910 to provide and install solid surface window sills in room 132 windows.
So
Somehow
moved.
I got missed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passes. The third one is with Krentz Lawn Care in the amount of $20,229.60. On the north end of the building, there's a significant slope. When it was graded, and it's determined that there's going to be significant erosion issues there, so it was decided to do a retention wall to control that, and then it will also include the landscaping of that area and along the front of the building as well.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. And the last but not least is with Mulhop's, $1,628 is the total change, and it's to add two keyed office, two offices to be keyed. One actually is an office and one's a storeroom.
Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Reports on file. We have just one from Weights and Measures. That will be on file in the Commissioner's office. Do we have any unfinished or new business? Public comment? Good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to introduce Robert Yoder. He's our new service desk manager. New, being relative, he's been here a couple of months, so just haven't been able to get him down here in time. He comes to us from the West Lafayette School Corporation.
Welcome aboard. Thank you. Glad to have you. All right. Is there anyone else?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.
That is a language, that is a language.
It is language all the time. Apple. Is it everybody else up there? Everybody else is Android. Thumbs up.
No, it's probably because West Lafayette schools use.
10:27.